everyone, welcome back to another episode of Let's Get It Out. First week of senior year done. Well, half a week. I started on Wednesday, which is, I don't know why they would start on Wednesday. I feel like school starts on a Monday. It's always been like school starts on Monday. Why would you start in the middle of the week? So I only went to school for 3 days. But anyways, it's stupid, but first week done. I'm done with this. I'm exhausted. I'm tired. I'm over it. I was so excited. Like, you can see my past episodes. I was so excited to go back to school. I'm like, oh my god, I'm so excited. And then now I'm like, nope, I can't wait till it's over. I hate this shit. I be having also a very hard RBF. I have a really bad resting bitch face. It's not even funny. I don't know how people still go up to me and talk to me in class. I know for the first day I was really, it was early in the morning. I had to wake up. I usually wake up in the summer at 5. Now I had to wake up at 4:45, and I slept through 2 alarms. I have to have multiple alarms on, and I slept through 2 of them, which was not necessarily a good start. But I got up, got ready, made breakfast, and took a shower and all that stuff. And I got to school, and I was way too tired for this. And I forgot my coffee too, so it was a really bad start. But I made it. I made it through the day alive, which was good. So that first week is done. I think I have 35 or 34 more weeks to go. I got this. That's always what I tell myself, even maybe if it's not true, I got this, But that's my little rant for today's episode. But for today's topic, it's going to be about mistakes, regrets, and guilt. And we've all made mistakes, we all have regrets, and we all felt guilt before. So this is going to be an episode that we can all relate to in some way. And I'm going to start off with mistakes. So mistakes are a universal experience that humans go through. There's different levels of mistakes. There's harmless, where every now and then maybe you forgot to wash your fruit after buying it from the grocery store, and there's still germs on it. Sometimes you just forget to wash your fruit before eating it. And then there's major mistakes, as in you maybe lost a friend due to gossiping a lot, and that's just a habit that you have. And a lot of the reason that we make mistakes are, well, first off, a lack of experience. And I want to start off with an example. Let's say you want to start off getting into baking. And so you go to the grocery store, you buy all the ingredients to make a cake, and you get home, you lay it out on the counter, you're excited to start off, and you have the recipe for it too. And you try your best to follow the recipe. You put on the ingredients, the wet mixture with the dry mixture, and then you mix it, and then you put it in the oven, you set the oven to a time. And after a while cooking the oven, you take it out and you check to see if it was cooked, and you see that it is still raw. You took out maybe a little bit too early, or maybe you set the temperature a little too low for the actual cake itself. It's your first time making cake. You're not going to be perfect. There's going to eventually maybe be a mistake being made within or throughout that process. And you made the mistake because it's your first time making mistakes. We've always heard the term practice makes perfect. You're not going to be perfect the first time you do or make something. And the more you do, the better it gets. So that's how a lack of experience comes into play. There's also ego when we make mistakes. Humans are naturally selfish, and I think we always have to like think about that in terms of our actions. We do things out of impulse, whether it's anger, frustration, revenge, if we want to get back at someone, or we're just very frustrated with somebody, or we're just like, sometimes we throw a fit. Like, even adults throw fits. I've seen it before. And sometimes those emotions can lead to us or letting our egos get in the way. And when that happens, maybe negative intentions result into us maybe going a little too far in what we're doing or what we're saying. And sometimes we can go to the extreme and lead to mistakes being made. And then another one's curiosity, and not a lot of people talk about this one. Kind of like a lack of knowledge. Trying, like for example, trying new experiences isn't bad. There's nothing like trying a new restaurant, a food or style isn't always, it's not a bad thing. But sometimes with other things it can be. Example, drugs, alcohol, except especially with adolescents and people who don't know the knowledge behind taking substances like that. And when someone probably offers you a drink or a pill or some sort of thing around like that, at that age, minds can be very, very curious without that lack of knowledge. And some out there may take the offer and face the consequences or receive like the penalty. Not necessarily like a consequence, but more like what happens because of their action. And sometimes it can lead to something very, very unfortunate. And not with just what you intake, but also with, I think with people too. I feel like no one talks about this. So like, people can be mistakes. I feel like we've all heard that like idea of someone who's like bad and mysterious and like that troublemaker, the like loner corner of the room, like in all black, you know. Like sometimes like the bad boy or something like that. Someone who's very, very intriguing. And like, intriguing people can probably be bad news, and then they end up reeling us in. And especially in relationships and friendships, sometimes those people can leave us or put us in problems and end up like in the end saying like, oh, it was a mistake being with that person or being around that person. But not a lot of people talk about that one. I feel like it's always been with the objects, not necessarily with individuals. But on surface level, I think mistakes of course are shameful. Not necessarily shameful, but like, they have a negative connotation. You did something wrong, right? Mistakes are gonna be made, but mistakes are gonna be made. It's a part of being human, and humans aren't perfect. We shouldn't strive to be perfect. We should always strive to be our best every day. Sometimes our best is what we can only like, maybe 50% of us that day is our best. Sometimes 20%. Sometimes it's 90%. Just depending on our mood, it's what the best that we can put out there. And even though we make mistakes, I don't think that prevents us from having regrets about mistakes. And that's what we're going to talk about next, having regrets. Now with regret is also another universal feeling that humans experience and go through, and that also like hits them really, really hard and deeply. And we all have regrets. We humans all proceed with actions that maybe later or in the future we wish that we could take back on what we did or what we said, and wish that we could change or alter the narrative that passed. Regret is such a complex thing because the feeling hits you like a freight train. Just a lot of overthinking, and it sticks with you for a good while, whether if it's for a short amount of time or for a long amount of time. Just like every now and then, every month, you just get another feeling of it, and it doesn't leave you. Regret, like not standing up for yourself, not saying anything, maybe saying too much, taking action into your own hands, maybe not taking action at all, saying hi, not saying hi, meeting new people and then not meeting new people, being not a nice enough person to somebody, and then other times not being nice enough, being too nice. It's just a constant question. Why did I do this? Why did I say this? It's the constant question of asking why. And it's just something that consumes your mind for a good long time. The memories consume you, your brain, your time, and sometimes because it like finds its way to enter your daydreaming and your dreams too. And but I think the feelings that come from regret, we can learn something from it. Regrets can be the lesson that can be learned from the things that we did, and we can learn to do them differently for the next time we're in a similar situation. And then sometimes our regrets can lead to obtaining feelings of guilt, and that's what we're going to talk about next. Now, with guilt, guilt alone is a very horrible thing to go through. It's just not necessarily like guilt is horrible thing. More of the pain is very horrible to experience, because you just get these like wave of emotions, and all of like regret can turn into emotions of shame, frustration, overthinking events on what you did, your actions, overthinking the words that you said, overthinking maybe the tone that you express your words in, and just going through self-doubt and just like, oh, why did I do this? Why did I do that? I'm like, I should have done better, and like I should have done this instead. And just kind of like beating yourself up for everything that you did. And sometimes it can lead to like insecurities and just like, I'm not this enough and I'm not good enough, and all these negative emotions about someone's self, and just putting yourself down and like squishing yourself into a little box. And it's not a good feeling. Guilt is really like self-destroying. It can be self-destroying sometimes, but I don't think that guilt can necessarily end it in a negative tone. I feel like guilt can end because guilt ends in self-evaluation. You're going over the things that you did and known you could have done something better, or you could have acted better. Instead of hurting someone's feelings, you could have maybe not said anything or said something differently, because you recognize the mistake you made. First, you recognize the mistake you made. Then you recognize the impact that you made on a person or something that, however you expressed your actions through. And you know how that was detrimental or had that effect on that person or thing. And that you know that came from you. You give yourself that responsibility. You put yourself in responsibility. You're responsible, and you take responsibility for your own actions. And knowing your actions in words that could have been articulated better, and you could have done better and have a better outcome, shows that you have human decency in yourself. That you're not a bad person. No one's ever a bad person. Maybe they had bad intentions, but no one ever is actually a bad person. And it shows that you have morals and values and standards, that you know you did something wrong. It's not within my area of morals, standards, and values, and I shouldn't have done that. And so you put yourself in that in responsibility, and you take accountability for your own actions. And guilt, when you think about it, I think can be important tool in self progression and growth. Because with mistakes and regret and guilt, always the aftermath of whatever mistake you made. The regret and guilt always comes in those feelings of shame and frustration, like I talked about earlier. And we always come to like these ending ideas that, oh, I'm not good enough, and like I'm not the best person for this, or I'm not a good friend, or I'm not a good partner, and like I'm a horrible person, and all these like negative put down ideas that we're not good enough for something. I don't think it has to be like that. Because if you look at it, mistakes and regrets and guilt don't have to end bad. They can end in your favor, because everything that goes on in your life is for your benefit. If you lose something or gain something and it didn't end in something well, it's always going to come out as a lesson or something that's going to stay. And that's how I look at things in life, whether people enter my life or things enter idea, work related, career wise, relationship wise, whatever it is. Things that enter your life are always going to benefit you, even though it looks like it may not. Either people enter your life to teach you something that's going to help you further something in your life, or sometimes people are here to stay, that they're to be there beside you and help you and like lead forward. So it doesn't always have to end in that negative tone of like of a bad thing to look back on. I feel like it could be a good thing to look forward to. And that's today's episode. And it might have been a little like sad. Regret and mistakes can be a little sad before, because I feel like it does start sad. It starts like, oh, I should have done this. And I feel like everybody has regrets that kind of takes over their mind every once in a while. I have a lot of regrets and mistakes and guilt of past actions, of mostly of people that I've let enter my life and I knew I shouldn't have let them in. And I feel like everybody either has it with people or something that they did. But can always turn it out to a good thing if we learn how to look through it in that lens. But yeah, that's today's episode. I hope you guys had a good one. If you're in school, stay strong. I know you can survive. I know you can do it for another year. We got this. And I'll see you guys next week.